Woohoo! What an incredible trailer. I know so much happened over there. We've got questions pouring in as usual. Mr. Devgan, we've got a first set of questions for you. But before we move any further, there was this in the trailer. There's this wonderful makeshift raft that I see. It looks like a very DIY sort of raft. Is it something that you both found and ended up building yourselves?
We didn't find a raft. Bear knew how to build it from the raw material, what we find from on Earth. I had no clue what he was doing, but I was just following him.
Yeah, I mean, if usually it's when asked who would you take on an island, it's usually a romantic answer. But
no,
I think Bear. Even I'm going with Bear. I mean, on Valentine's Day also, I'm choosing Bear over anybody else on this planet. I completely agree. Bear, it's also just wonderful to see you here. We are all so excited. Ajay, we have one more question for you, which is that how was shooting for this entire episode different from shooting action sequences in the various films that you've done?
Well, I think sorry, Ajay.
No, you.
No. You're the. No. Please, you go.
No, it was completely different because shootings we have planned. We know what we're going to do. We have rehearsals and then we have retakes.
Retakes. That's it.
Yeah, we really didn't know what we were going to do. At least I didn't know what I was going to do. And there were no retakes. You had to take chances, and you could. It was kind of a little dangerous because I mean anything could have happened. We were into the wild. We were into the unknown territory. Bear still knows a little bit about it, but I completely was unaware of everything. So yeah, it was a little scary also, and it was fun also.
Absolutely, it's truly an experience of a lifetime. Bear, you have had experiences on a daily basis that most of us won't have for the rest of our lives. Now, India in itself is a very, very diverse country full of crazy forests, lots of mad, beautiful tropical places. Which is the one place that you most would like to experience, check out, or explore?
Well, you're right. India is a truly incredible country. It's a place that I love. People and a culture that I love, and Into the Wild for me is always such a privilege. I think the remarkable thing about India is just the diversity of terrain. So many true wildernesses. This one for us was a challenging one. I think sometimes people think desert islands it's going to be like paradise. As Ajay knows, it's not always like that. I always look at them a bit like nature's fortresses.
Right.
Guarded by, by sharks in the water, big reefs often, very little fresh water, and harsh climates and harsh terrain. So RJ was very much in at the deep end of this. I think, though, what I love about Into the Wild is you get to know the real person, and, I have huge respect for RJ for putting himself into that situation. It's an intimidating place to drop into on so many levels, and as RJ says, there's no retakes. I think it's a vulnerable place for people because you gun it and you go. But I love it. It's a true privilege, and RJ, what an incredible man, and a true warrior spirit and a humble heart, and
That's true.
It was a privilege to get to know him.
I think if ever anybody is in the water and somebody says, if you see a shark, stay calm, those words alone, I would age dramatically in the water only. I heard that in the trailer. Here's another question that's come up, which is that you've collaborated with various Indian personalities so far. What quality of Ajay did you find that was different from the rest?
I think the great power of the wild is you get to know people quickly. It's hard to hide, and you're in, as I say, at the deep end. And I think survival rewards people who dig deep, people who work together. I think having a respect and a humility for the wild is so key. And I think RJ encompassed all of that. Sometimes, when we get nervous, there's a sort of an ego there, but with RJ, there's none of that. He is truly, as I said, a humble sort of determined warrior of a man, a true family man. And I think what I loved especially is getting to know somebody's journey. You know, I think there's an honesty and a vulnerability with Into the Wild, and you, as I say, you get to see the real person. But Ajay's story is so inspiring, and I think, you know, his story really comes across told with, you know, that kind of honesty and humility that shines bright with that man. So I'm excited for people to get to hear that kind of unglossy side of, you know, his real story.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Megha, this has been we want to thank you because it's going to be such a fun experience to watch. Tell us a little bit from your point of view about this episode and, of course, this launch.
Thanks, Cyrus. But first of all, thank you so much, Bear and Ajay, and the entire team for making this thrilling adventure possible. You know, our journey with Bear actually goes back, and we are glad to have him yet again and create this magic with us. He's hosted, as you know, some eminent and iconic personalities in the past, like the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We had Thalaiva, Rajinikanth, and it was followed by everyone's favorite action hero, Akshay Kumar, on our platform. So with every passing episode, our audience is also expecting more from us. And we're only going to make this bigger and wilder it's also airing in 142 countries. So really excited about that. This episode's going to be seen around the world, and with the superstar himself, Ajay Devgn. This time we are sure that this is his great persona and the spirit of camaraderie between the duo will make this show a must watch for each one of you. So I'm really excited about this one, and I thank you once again, Bear and Ajay, for doing this for us.
Thank you so much for that. We have a really fun question here from Mr. Devgan. Sometimes the urban jungle is more petrifying than the wild. This is true. If you try to cross roads in India, it's quite a job in itself. Did you find spending the day in the wild with Bear more fun than your usual day in the city, managing your schedule and the crazy traffic? And
of course, any day I would say that. I had a lot of fun. I told you, because it was also very unpredictable, which was a lot of fun. I loved Bear as a human being. We got along very well. I'm happy that I've made a friend. It was a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun. I mean, I anyways like the wild more than the cities.
Right. And do you have a lot of memories? Like in India, we are actually one of the few countries in the world where, on an average, everyone's also married into nature. You know, people live next to the forest. People have been traveling around. We have animals all around us. For you, Ajay, do you have a lot of childhood memories, or are you someone who also really loves getting out and into the wild and into nature?
I mean, as a child, I did not get too much out in the wild, but yeah, because of my work, we get there. I've shot in the rainforests. I've shot in a lot of water and mountains and things like this, and I love that, and I really love it.
Yeah, I think a part of you that otherwise doesn't get activated just wakes up, you know.
Yeah.
We've also got a lot of questions which people ask, like, now that you've experienced so many things, like, for example, and for an actor on stage, even if they've done it 50 times, there is a certain level of nervousness when they're going on stage and performing, always. For you, do you still get scared? Do you still get concerned and worried?
I do. I think that's what I was telling somebody also, that every time I'm about to give a shot, and it can be a very simple shot, but the first feeling is, will I be able to pull this off? And I think that's good nervousness. You know, that keeps you on your toes, and you know, you want to give in your best. So that should always remain also. Yeah. So I'm nervous before every film starts. I'm nervous before every shot ends.
Absolutely. And does that happen to you, Bear? Do you get nervous too?
Yeah, I think as Ajay said, it's a healthy part of life. It's a natural part of life. I think the journey is always, you know, learning to not run from that fear and to be able to walk towards it and not be kind of scared of those nerves and realize they're there to help you. But I definitely get, you know, a little nervous before these shows. I take them very seriously. You know, it's a huge responsibility taking somebody, you know, like Ajay into the wild. And I'm very respectful of that. I'm respectful of the fact that they might not have done anything like this. And you're going from 0 to, you know, 100 straight away. You're straight in an extreme kind of level. But
Right.
what I like is that you have to work together. You know, I need him as much as he needs me. We're in this together. It was great to be able to harness his strength, especially with making that raft and dragging that and figuring that side of things out and catching fish and all that good stuff. So it's about the kind of bonds that I think the wild brings, and
Right.
I love that part of it.
Yeah, it's this extreme trust in a person you've just met, and through it reveals, sort of character. Bear, what would be for anyone out there, what do you think are the three most essential things to always carry with you when you're heading out?
I think a sense of humor, because I think I could list off items for you, but the truth is, in the wild, it's all about in here and in here. And I think sense of humor is important, because if stuff is going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong. Ajay and me had a bunch of challenging moments where things don't go to plan, and you have to improvise a bit, and you have to dig deep, and that's just part of it. So I think sense of humor, I think a calm spirit is important, that calm in the storm when things happen. And then ultimately, I think a never give up attitude. I mean, there's no doubt both of us at the end of that day were tired. It's a hot climate, you're working hard, you're fighting for everything. But we eventually had to get this raft out through the reef, and suddenly you're on your own out there, and it's a big old ocean, and there's a lot that can happen. But seeing his sort of never give up resilience was inspiring, and it shows that for him it carries on into his life, not just his roles. And
Totally.
and I love seeing that.
And during the course of the episode, there were also quite a lot of interesting and lovely chats you both had. Ms. Devgan, what was Yug's expression on your experience? What did your kids say when you sort of told them about where all you went and what all happened? And did you share your experiences with them about the episode?
Yeah, I did, and I told him how Bear made me eat raw fish and lots of things. But Yug was most excited when he came to know that I'm shooting in Bear. I don't know where he's watched Bear so much that he said, "Could I come?" And I said, "No, you can't come." And then Bear was very sweet to shoot a video for him and send it to him. So he got very excited watching it. Thank you, Bear, for that.
Oh, so sweet. Yeah, no, I was, it's hard on these things, because you sort of really want families and friends to share it, but you're going into difficult places. And as you know, we operate with a small crew and stuff, but he should be very proud of his dad. He really should be. You dug deep on that journey, and I respect that a lot. And I'm looking forward to many good times ahead together.
Thank you so much, Bear. Ajay, we have a very interesting question. If you had to choose at random, any three actors that you could take on to any one of these adventures, purely for their skills, who would you choose?
Only Bear. I'll never take a chance.
Bear, I think you have to cancel your schedule, and you'll be traveling a lot with Mr. Devgan, I feel. In event of any drama, you'll be called to appear.
So
we have to clone you, Bear.
Good team.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, tell me one more thing. Do you think you guys are going to be, after this experience with Devgan, do you think you're going to be taking a lot more trips out into the wild? I think that something happens when you sort of spend some time
I would love
in
to.
nature.
I would love to. And I've always wanted to also. I've
Right.
always wanted to go to places which are which are really unknown to you, and you need to explore. As I told you, I don't enjoy the cities and crowds too much,
Yeah.
so I prefer going into the mountains or into the jungles and things like this. I love that.
Yeah, I think it's so important, because we're all kind of losing our connect otherwise to our nature and to who we really are. Mr. Devgan, thank you so much for your time. It is super exciting to see you in this wonderful episode, and I hope you have a wonderful shoot today. Thanks for taking out time and chatting with all of us and joining us. And guys, can't wait to see this episode.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
And Bear, one quick question: Have you gotten to eat any of the wonderful Indian cuisine on your journey in India?
Often. I've learned about India. Everything is hot. The climate, the food, the culture, wonderful, warm, embracing. I love it. Indian food, one of my favorite, of course.
Which would be the one dish that I think you'd go to or talk or sort of, if you had to call all your friends over, you've traveled the world, which is the dish that you think you would introduce to your friends first from India?
Well, I love hot things, but I'm always a little nervous in India of asking for a really hot curry. That occasionally has I've come to regret that on occasions. I think I've been too used to the English version of it. So I'm always respectful. I like to be guided by my great friends. You know, when if I come to see Ajay in India, Ajay, I'll let you lead, you guide me, look after me. I'll be in your hands.
I think this is a very good relationship they formed. Ajay is not taking any nature holidays without Bear. Bear is not eating any food without Ajay. And Megha, you and I can just sort of invite ourselves to this party. But guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Megha. Thank you so much, Bear. Thank you, Mr. Devgn. And thank you to all the wonderful people from the press for joining us for this wonderful chat.
Well, Cyrus, actually, we have 2 more questions. Can we take 2 more questions?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Could I be sent them?
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for them. Okay, here we have Bear. What's your view on adventure in India? That's a great question, actually. And what's the difference you feel from adventure in India and other regions or other parts of the world?
Well, first of all, like I said, I think India is such a truly remarkable country in terms of not only its people and its attitude and its warmth of spirit, but also that diversity of terrain. And we're definitely going to come and film more into the wilds, and we're going to film in different parts of India. And I'm excited for that. I do think, though, I think adventure ultimately is a state of mind. You know, I think that's the way I always look at it. And, you know, it doesn't matter ultimately where you are. You know, it's about that kind of tenacious spirit and having an adaptable kind of heart and being able to look at things and, you know, see solutions rather than problems, and know that it's not always going to be easy. And sometimes you've got to dig deep, but together you're stronger, and never give up. And that is, that's the heart of survival, and that's universal.
You know, that's super true. And Megha, we're getting a lot of questions for you. People are super excited about this episode, and they also want to know if Bear and will be shooting with Vicky Kaushal anytime soon, and if there's anything you can share on that episode.
You've got to wait and watch for that. Right now, let's focus on Ajay episode, which is premiering, as you know, on 22nd. So do look out for that, but there'll be more action coming shortly for every one of us to consume.
And Bear, one last question for you. One word to survive in the wild. What's the one word that you think encapsulates everything which involves going out into the wild and sort of enjoying the adventure and the fear and the madness that it sort of encapsulates? I
think respect. Actually, you know, you got to respect that place. You only get it wrong once. You got to respect it in terms of conservation. You got to respect it in terms of, you know, it's a dynamic, dangerous place if you don't know what you're doing. You got to respect your own abilities, and you got to respect the journey. And, you know, I think a lifetime in the wild has taught me that. You know, it's truly life enhancing and remarkable and terrifying and inspiring all at the same time, but underpinned everything. You know, as Discovery Channel know, you know, the wild places, respect. You got to respect it. And I love the partnership with Discovery Channel India. You know, they have that spirit, they have that adventure heart, and they have that never give up kind of resilience. And I'm proud of the partnership, proud of the shows. Mega, super grateful for your friendship and support over many years. And we're only just getting going.
Absolutely, Bear. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Bear. And one last question. Do you feel more at home in nature, or do you feel more at home when you get back home in the city?
I struggle a little more with the city. You know, we luckily don't live in the cities. We live in a beautiful, I mean, you can sense it, but a beautiful, you know, wilderness place that I love. I do love the adventure kind of part of it. I love the sense that you got to be on it. You got to work together. You know, you can't take your eye off the ball for a second. I love that energy to it, but there is a great sense of coming home. And ultimately, that's always the driving force for me in my life. Yeah.
True that. Thank you so much, Bear, for your time. And thank you so much for entertaining us and teaching us so much about nature and how we all are so connected to it. And Nika, thank you so much for this content. Thank you so much for creating it. And once again, thank you to the press. We're going to leave this out here. Remember, it's on the 22nd of October on Discovery Plus that it launches. And on the 25th, it launches on Discovery Channel. So guys, don't forget to watch it. And thank you all so much. Thank you, Bear.
Thank you,
all.
Cyrus.
Take
Thank
care,
you,
guys.
Bear.
All the
Thanks,
best.
everyone.